How's everyone doing? This is going to be the first video where I'm showing off all of my horror collectibles as of October 2017, all of my figures and everything that I own. But before I get started, I'm sure you guys can kind of notice that it is kind of dark in here, and that's because it's dark outside and it's raining, and my camera just doesn't have a lot of brightness to it. I've noticed in my past videos that my camera is just dark. I've tried to mess around with it and try to make it brighter, but it just isn't working for me. So what I decided to do was, I was trying to figure out the best way to show off my, my collectibles, and I did a little test video before I started filming this video where I got up and I started filming my collectibles on their shelves, and it was just too dark. You could barely see anything. And so what I decided to do was take all my collectibles off the shelves and lay them on my bed. And so right now I have about 2 shelves worth of collectibles laying out on my bed. This is the best way for me to do this because I've got, I've got 2 lights on in this room. I've got my windows open and everything. So I'm trying to get the most light that I can, but it's still kind of dark. And so this was the best way for me to do this. So right now all my collectibles, well, not all, half of my collectibles are laying off on my bed, and when I do the second video I'll get the rest of them and lay them on my bed as well. This is just the best way that I can do this. But anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and go ahead and get started showing these collectibles off. And the first ones I'm going to show off are my Chucky, Tiffany, and Glinda dolls. So the first one right here we have is Chucky. Now I got him back when, I want to say, Bride of Chucky had came out, and I hadn't seen it yet. I think I've only seen maybe the first or the second Child's Play film, but I'm not really sure. But I saw this at Spencer's Gifts back when Spencer's used to sell a lot of great horror stuff, and I knew I just had to own him. And when I saw the look on his face, like I said, I had not seen Bride of Chucky yet, so I didn't know why his face looked the way that it did on the doll, but he is absolutely great detailed. I absolutely love him. I've had him, like I said, for years now, and he just all detailed all the way down. It says "good guys" right there, and yeah, I absolutely love him. You may have noticed that his hand has actually came off, and I was planning on getting my mom or someone to sew it back on, but it just never happened. So there's the Chucky doll, and then right here I have Tiffany. Now she does come with a stand, but I decided not to get it down, and she does say different lines from the film. Again, so nicely detailed all the way down. Even down to her shoes and everything. She's just so nicely detailed. And then we have Glinda, which I got right after Seed of Chucky came out, which I enjoyed. The movie is probably my least favorite of the series, but I think it's fun. But yeah, I absolutely love these. I used to have these standing up, but now I just have them sort of laying down on my shelf because they're kind of hard to stand, but there's all 3. Alright, and now right here we have one of my favorite collectibles and one of the rare ones that I own, and that is Blade from Puppet Master. And as you can see, he has a lot of blood on him. I actually got this figure before I even knew what Puppet Master was. I just thought he looked cool, because he has the knife for a hand and he's got blood all the way down and around the side right there. Unfortunately, he's missing his hook. And that's one thing you're going to notice about a lot of the figures that I have is that, when I was younger, I didn't know that these figures were going to be like really collectible. I mean, I knew that they were going to be collectible, but I didn't know that they would be like hard to find eventually. And I've actually taken a lot of them out of their boxes, and now they are missing parts. Like this next one, which you'll see. This is my Freddy figure. Very, very tall, very nicely detailed. I'm trying to get as much light as I can on him. But like I said, he's very nicely detailed. And as you can see, he is actually missing a lot of his knives for his glove, which is unfortunate because, these are, I think, the best looking figures. These NECA figures are, probably the best. I believe NECA put these out. But these are the best, the most well done figures, I would say, that I've seen for all of them. I've also got Pinhead and Michael, which I'll be showing shortly. I'm going to show Pinhead in this video. But yeah, I absolutely love him. He's really, really detailed. His hat is removable, and he also comes with an extra hat, which I would say is the new Nightmare head. Like, I love how you can see his teeth right there. Like I said, they are so nicely detailed, and right there, you just got the bone. You can just stick it into the top of the figure. All right. Now, next figure I have is this smaller Freddy figure right here, and again, he's missing a lot of the knives on his glove, but he is still greatly detailed, and he's got blood on him, as you can see. He's got some blood on his stomach right there, and down on his pants and on his shoes. I absolutely love these figures. It's classic NECA figure. Oh, and by the way, the Freddy figure and the Pinhead figure, which I'm going to show, as well as the Ash figure, they all talk. You can't really see it there, but there's a button on his back, and he has different lines from the movies. This is just a little Nightmare on Elm Street wristband that I have. Pretty cool. And then I have these, this Freddy glove, which you can buy in stores. If you ever want to be Freddy for Halloween, it's just kind of a cheap one. I noted that there's a lot of really nice ones that you can get. And then we have this Freddy mugger. It's just the same on both sides. And then I have a Freddy pen, which can't really see him very well, but there's this, has his face and everything, and his arm is up with the knives. And once again, he is missing his arm, which, like I said, that just tends to happen, and then it even says in Nightmare on Elm Street right here, and a little slash mark, and then all the way around is, a striped sweater. Pretty cool. Then I have this smaller figure, which came in a set with a Jason figure, which I'll show. And I believe I still have the Jason figure and a Leatherface figure. He's missing his hat, unfortunately, but these were like miniature little figures that were released, I think in the early 2000s or around that time. I'm not really sure. They got a little Freddy keychain right here. He's, stuffed and everything. Just a cute little thing. And then another little Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy keychain right here. Again, a lot of these things I got from Spencer's Gifts. So, I'm sure you can find these online, but I remember back when Spencer's Gifts used to have like a ton of horror figures, and now they barely do anything. You do still see, Chucky and Tiffany dolls and stuff like that, but for the most part, they've really, they just don't have them anymore, and it's kind of a shame, because I used to love going to Spencer's Gifts. Now, I got this from Toys R Us, and this is the limited edition Freddy figure that was released, or the Toys R Us exclusive. It says exclusive right there. Go all the way up. I absolutely love this figure. And this is actually based on the 1990 video game. Is what this figure is based off of, but absolutely love him. I've been meaning to get back to Toys R Us and see whatever figures they have. I also know that FYE also has some pretty cool horror figures, and I might end up picking some of those up. Alright, so now I'm just going to move over here. And the next couple of figures I'm going to show are, well, first I'll show is Ash from Evil Dead. Now this is one of my older figures. I actually got this figure before I even knew what Evil Dead was. I just got him because he used to come with a chainsaw, a really bloody chainsaw, but unfortunately the piece that you can stick into his arm broke off, and I lost the chainsaw. Once again, losing stuff, but he is so nicely detailed all the way down. There's blood on him and everything, and he's just an all-around really great figure. He does have the shotgun or the boomstick in his back. And when you pull it out, it's a sawed-off double barrel. And of course, he has his robot hand that he got from Army of Darkness. So yeah, like I said, he's still mostly complete. He's just missing his chainsaw, which, to be honest, I think is probably the coolest thing about it. And like the Freddy figure, you press the button on his back, and he has different lines from the movie. Like, well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants, and groovy. Just a lot of great lines from Army of Darkness. Okay, now we're going to move on, and Here's a tall man figure. And again, missing his hand. There's a reason why I'm not going to be taking out figures from their packaging anymore. Is because when you take them out, then you end up losing pieces. Of course, when I was a kid, I didn't know that. I saw them as collectibles. I didn't see them as toys or anything. But I wanted to take them out and I wanted to set them up and display them. And now I realize that it's not the best idea to do that because then you lose pieces. But very, very well done. I absolutely love the Phantasm film. And, rest in peace, Angus Scrimm. I have yet to watch Ravager, and I hope to watch it soon. I probably won't be able to watch it this October, but I plan on watching it in November, and I will be doing a first-time watch video on it. But as for the rest, I love the Phantasm series. And he comes with one of the dwarves, which is a really cool, really well done figure. Another thing about this camera is that it does get blurry. I don't really know how to make this camera focus or anything, so. And it comes with a little ball, which is very cool as well. And it's got, little 2 forks on it right there, and then a drill. Very, very cool. And the last thing I'm going to show are my Hellraiser figures. First one right here I have is my huge 18-inch. I believe these are 18 inches. Pinhead figure, which I absolutely love. It's got the different hooks and saws and everything right there, and then he's got the ball. I mean, not the ball, the box. I'm thinking I'm still on Phantasm. He's got the box, which is incredibly detailed, and his hand is made to where you can take out one of these hooks and have him holding it. But yeah, very well done figure. And once again, you flick the switch on his back, and he says lines from the film. So I have that. Then I have this miniature Pinhead figure, and he used to come with a box, but I ended up losing the box. A lot of these figures also came with little pieces of the box, sort of big plastic pieces where you could put them all together, and they could make the box. It's another figure right here. She's holding one of the hooks. I kind of forgot some of the names of these. I know this one's called Barbie, and this has 2 heads. I don't know what happened to the other head, but this one has the mouth open, and it came with the flames. It's very cool. We have this one right here. And then we have the dog. And then we have, I believe his name is Chatter. Or Chatter, I can't really remember. It's been forever since I've seen the Hellraiser movies. And then I have CD. And that is all that I'm going to show in this part. I hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said, I mean, I have to, I decided to take all these off and just lay them on my bed, because if not, it would be too dark for you guys to see anything. Because I tried to, put my camera up and film these while they were still on the shelves, and it was just so dark. And once again, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm missing pieces from these collectibles, but that happens when you get something when you're younger as a kid. You don't take as good care of them as you should. That's one of the main reasons why whenever I get a figure, I'm keeping them in the package, because I know that if I end up losing a piece from them, I'll regret it. And I, like Freddy's claws or something, I really regret having those get broken off, or Ash's chainsaw. It's just disappointing that I was unable to, have them keep them in the best shape that I could. But now I know better, and I know to keep them all in their packagings whenever I get a new figure. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed part 1, and part 2 will be up very soon.